How's it going, everyone? Baby Dragon 40 here, coming at you guys with a new video. And today I got for you guys a new series that I'm going to be starting called How to Play Mermails for Beginners. And what these series of videos are going to focus on are highlighting key and vital cards that are used in Mermail decks and how to play them, and in-depth look at how their effects work and maybe some ruling questions regarding them. I know with the upcoming release of Eternity Code and the new water sport coming out, Mermails are going to become a lot more popular than what they already are, and there's going to be a lot of new players looking to pick this deck up and trying to figure out how this deck works. So this video is for you guys, and I know sometimes there are questions or comments that people have, but they feel that they're dumb comments or questions, so they're too afraid to ask them. So I know I am one of those people. So this video is for you guys. Don't be afraid to ask. You know, this is what Yu-Gi-Oh is about: learning and helping each other out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So the card of the day is Mermail Abyss Megalo. So Mermail Abyss Megalo, as you can tell, is a beautiful secret rare that came out in Abyss Rising roughly around 2012. It is a level 7 water, 2400 attack, and 1900 defense. So let's go ahead and read what it does. So you can discard 2 other water monsters to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. When you do, you can add 1 Abyss spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. You can tribute 1 other face-up attack position water monster. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Alright, so let's go ahead and start breaking this card down and getting into the details of it. So special summoning this card from the hand is an ignition effect that activates in the hand. Second, discarding 2 water monsters to the graveyard is a cost. Okay, so in order to special summon Abyss Megalo via its own effect, you must first reveal Abyss Megalo in the hand, stating that you are activating its effect. Second, then you discard the 2 other water monsters from your hand to the graveyard to pay the cost. Once you have paid the cost, your opponent has an opportunity to respond. Assuming your opponent has no response to which summon, Mermail Abyss Megalo will now be able to successfully summon itself to the field. Alright, so pretty much the way it works, you have Abyss Megalo in hand, you reveal Abyss Megalo to your opponent, you then go ahead and discard whatever 2 other water monsters you have in hand. Let's say it's, in this example, let's say you have a Diva and Launcher. You gotta discard those to the graveyard as cost. Then you go ahead and special summon Megalo to the field. So that's the way that it works. Okay, so assuming that Megalo has been summoned successfully, you must declare your chain links if there are any. For example, if I discarded Diva and Launcher in this situation, they have no effects that are activating. So Megalo will activate its effect to add an Abyss spell or trap to the hand, and that will be the end of it. Another side note, the effect to add the Abyss spell or trap to the hand does not target. And usually in Mermail decks, the number 1 target you run for Megalo is Abyss Skull of the Mizuchi. However, some players do decide to run Abyss Sphere as well. So you can go ahead and add 1 of these 2 to your hand for Megalo's effect. And like I said, the other 2 water monsters don't have any effect, so that'll be the end of it. However, let's say if I choose to discard a Fishborg Launcher and an Atlantean Dragoons. So let's say I didn't discard the Diva. I discarded for the 2 targets, I discarded Fishborg Launcher and Dragoons. So you would reveal Megalo, discard your 2 monsters. Your opponent has no response. Megalo will then go ahead and get summoned, and then your chain links start to resolve. Megalo must be chain link 2 because it is a when you can effect, so it can miss timing since it is an optional when effect. So in this case, Megalo would go ahead and be chain link 2, and then the Dragoons will go ahead and be chain link 1. Fishborg has no effect that is activating, so it doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and move these out the way. So resolving backwards, Megalo will go ahead and add the Abyss Skull to your hand, and then Dragoons will then go ahead and add any Sea Serpent to your hand, so that would be Neptabyss. This would be the same scenario if you discard 2 water monsters that activate effects. Like, for example, let's say instead of the Fishborg Launcher, we're gonna go ahead and discard Dragoons and Gund instead. So again, remember, Megalo has to be chain link the last chain, which in this case is chain link 3. So let's say Megalo is chain link 3, Gund will go ahead and be chain link 2, and then Dragoons will go ahead and be chain link 1. And since chains resolve backwards, as stated before, Megalo will go ahead and add you the Abyss scale, and then Gund will go ahead and summon a Mermail from your graveyard. In this case, let's just say we summon the Bestias, and then Dragoons will then go ahead and add you the Sea Serpent, which we're still going to go ahead and add the Neptibus to the hand. Alright, so now that we have gone over Megalo's summoning effect and the way chain links should resolve when it's summoning, we're going to go ahead and move on to the second part of its effect. So you can tribute one of their face-up attack position water monster. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Now, attributing one other face-up attack position water monster you control is a cost to activate the effect, and the effect to attack twice is an ignition effect. This is pretty basic. There's not really much that you gotta talk about this. The only thing that is very important to remember is that you are attributing a face-up attack position monster. It cannot be in defense position, which has people have tried doing to me until they read the card. So that's pretty basic. So yeah, so we pretty much already went over Megalo and its effect and how it works. Now I just want to go over a couple of side notes. We want to make sure that we are fulfilling Megalo's summoning requirements properly. Let's say your opponent has like a face-up Dark Law on their side of the field, or a Macrocosmos. Either one of this works for this example. You will not be able to activate Megalo's effect properly, because if you remember, in his effect, it says discard the 2 water monsters to the graveyard. With Dark Law on the field and Macrocosmos, they're not being sent to the graveyard. The cards being sent to the graveyard are getting banished instead. So Megalo's effect won't be able to resolve properly. Therefore, you cannot summon him since you are not meeting his requirements. Another scenario that I want to talk about is, can Megalo be negated, or how would that work? Yes, Megalo can be negated by certain cards. As we talked about earlier, remember, Megalo is an ignition effect. So he does have to reveal himself, then pay the cost by discarding the 2 waters, and then your opponent does have an opportunity to respond at that time. Meaning, if your opponent has something on the field like Solemn Warning, or an Evil Sword Logia, or even Debunk, for example, they can go ahead and activate those to prevent Megalo from summoning itself successfully. However, you still do pay the cost. So if you have the 2 Dragoons that you discarded, or Dragoon the Gun, whatever the waters are, you still have to send them to the graveyard. However, Megalo will not be able to summon itself. Another scenario that I want to talk about is back in the day when a card like Mind Crush was more relevant, and it's not really used now, but this did happen back in the day. If you were to reveal Megalo and then your opponent will then chain the Mind Crush, you still do pay your cost by discarding the monsters. However, Megalo will not get summoned since it's no longer in the hand and it's in the graveyard instead. So yeah, guys, these are just a couple scenarios that I have. Let me know if you enjoyed this kind of video, if it was helpful to you, and if you're looking forward to this series. Yeah, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Leave me any feedback if you felt that I missed anything out with Megalo, or any other cool scenarios that you have experienced in the past that can be helpful to others. And Baby Dragon 48 out.